According to Indicom, 149 people have been killed in shootings involving the security forces so far this year. Assistant Commissioner at Indicom, Hamish Campbell, says this number could significantly increase by year's end.
In 2023, fatal shootings amounted, as said, to 155 citizens killed and a further 99 people were shot and injured, which was a 16% increase over 2022. However, as of yesterday, the 31st of October, 149 people have been killed so far this year and a further 66 people shot and injured. And as pointed out, the current projection shows that unless trends are reversed by the security forces in Jamaica, 2024 will see the highest level of security force fatal incidents since 2013. In 2013, it was 253. So there is a significant issue at present.
According to Mr. Campbell, there's been an 80% increase in fatal shootings by security forces since 2019. He notes that up to October 31 this year, there's also been an increase of Jamaicans being killed or injured despite not being in possession of a weapon.
The report talks about the incident of multiple death incidents, that is the number of people killed in a singular incident, and in 2023 that number was 20. But so far this year, multiple death incidents have accounted for 30 people being shot and killed. There were 2 incidents where 4 people were killed in the single matter, and 2 incidents where 3 people were killed, in addition to the multiple double fatal shootings that we see. What we also noted was again the issue of a person being shot and killed or a person being shot and injured where they have no weapon at all, neither a firearm nor any other weapon, a stone, scissors, stick or other implement. And that was a feature last year and has been a feature for over a decade.
Mr. Campbell says within the first 10 months of 2024, 40% of individuals killed by security forces were targeted during planned police operations.
The one area which is illustrative of the increase in the fatal shootings is the planned policing operation. Last year it was 15. As of yesterday, the number of people killed in planned operations this year is 58 from 50 operations. So 40% of people killed so far this year have come from planned operations where these specialized teams are entering properties, yards, premises, and the person is ending up dead.
Jamaican mother of 3 found dead in Florida home. Today, Colette Gaynor will try to come to terms with every mother's worst nightmare as she visits a morgue to identify the body of her daughter, Shoshana Tully. As she traveled from her New York home to Orlando, Florida, where the 29-year-old resided, she said her heart has been torn into a million pieces. Shoshana left Florida and come to New York and stayed with me for a couple of days. It's Friday she go back to Florida, and she was like my ride or die. She was there for me every time I need her, and anywhere me go. And me and her I go. My heart broken, me mash up right now. My daughter would go above and beyond for those she loved. Anybody call her for any assistance, she was there. She not tell you no, she always a smile, Gaynor said. On Monday, the Orange County Police reported that Tully's body was found at home with what appeared to be a trauma wounds. The circumstances surrounding Tully's death are still under investigation. Gaynor said that Sunday she got a call from Tully's manager, who told her that she saw a devastating news story posted online. However, she did not get confirmation until Tuesday when the authorities contacted her. I spoke to my daughter early Monday afternoon, but when I tried calling her back later, I wasn't getting through to her. I told her friend to file a report at the station, but it couldn't be filed until 24 hours. Her manager asked me if the news that she read online was true, but I told her I didn't know because I wasn't getting her phone. The manager then sent me the screenshot of the news. She said, up to press time yesterday, social media sites reported that a man had been held by police in connection with the incident. Residents of Mayville Avenue, said Andrew, where Tully resided before migrating to the US, were in shock. They told the news team that the mother of 3 was loved by everyone. Her teenage son was among a group of persons who mourned inside the family's dwelling. His eyes were swollen from crying, and he was constantly consoled by relatives who said they were all keeping a close eye on him and trying to be strong for him. He said he doesn't think he is going to survive without his mother. It hard on everybody, and we just can't believe she gone like that. Today Wednesday, father's birthday, and him passed out and had to go to hospital. It hard bad, a relative said. A 13-year-old girl left for school in St. Thomas and did not return home. An another alert has been activated and a search is on for 13-year-old Shadane Bennett of Bamboo River, Moran Bay, St. Thomas, who has been missing since Wednesday, October 30. She is of dark complexion, medium build, and about 183 centimeters, 6 feet tall. According to reports from the Moran Bay Police, Shadane was last seen leaving for school at about 7:30 a.m. in a blue tunic, white blouse, and black shoes. She has not been heard from since then. Anyone with information about Shadane Bennett whereabouts is being asked to contact the Moran Bay Police at 876-982-2233 or the nearest police station. A pilot who was held with parcels of ganja at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston in April 2023 pleaded guilty to the charges on Friday. He is 37-year-old Kenardo Thomas, a Turks and Caicos national. Thomas was fined more than $200,000 when he appeared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. He was charged after 18 pounds of ganja were found in his suitcase while he attempted to board an airplane he was scheduled to fly. At the time of the incident, Thomas was employed by a well-known airline. For possession of ganja, he was fined $15,000. For attempting to export ganja, he was fined $260,307. This after attorneys at law King's Counsel Peter Champagne and Samoy Campbell urged the court for leniency on his behalf. The charges of conspiracy to export ganja and dealing in ganja were dismissed. Thomas has been on bail since last year. New Education Minister has several outstanding issues to address. Opposition spokesman on education, Senator Damian Crawford, says the new portfolio minister, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, has a tall order ahead of her. The senator says there are a raft of outstanding issues that require urgent attention. Absenteeism, infrastructure, violence, and poor examination results at the top of the agenda. Senator Damian Crawford was a strident critic of the former minister's handling of the portfolio. He says with new leadership in education, he is expecting several changes, but he accepts it won't be easy. Senator Crawford is calling on Minister Dixon to immediately move to address what he says are high levels of absenteeism across rural and urban area schools. The state of violence in schools is also an area he says requires urgent attention. Earlier this year, the ministry reported that for the period January 2022 to January 2023, it received 55 critical incident reports from the nation's schools. The majority of the reports were related to violent incidents. Senator Crawford has also flagged the state of many school plans as needing the minister's urgent attention. The new minister has called for a collaborative approach to addressing the challenges facing the sector. Meanwhile, Senator Crawford is expressing hope that he will have a closer working relationship with the new minister. Crawford says Morris Dixon has already been in touch with him. The senator says a positive sign so far is that the Skills Training Institute, ART, NSTA Trust, has been returned to education portfolio. He says it should have never been moved to the office of the Prime Minister.
It's a tall order, a tall task for the new minister to learn very quickly. As I said, her zeal and her energy should contribute to a better performance, but at 18%, small changes would not be sufficient for us to adequately improve the education offering. We also believe that the violence in school was being given mainly lip service, and immediate action, curative action, is needed to reduce the violence, the abuse, and the physical and the mental abuse many students are facing in schools. Without a new budget, it might be difficult, but the minister should also look into infrastructure. Termites have infested many of our schools, and we have seen that in parishes that did not receive high levels of hurricane wind or rain, there was still extreme damage to our school infrastructure in those areas, though houses next door to that infrastructure withstood the hurricane. It is because many of our schools are in a dilapidated state, and the minister should immediately, in crafting this new budget request, seek to have that attended to. Myself and Senator Dixon, I would suggest have a reasonable relationship. I'd say a good relationship. And I think if we can expect anything, it is that we may work more closely than myself and the previous minister. And I extend that that invitation to Senator Dixon, who has called me since, and I hope that we can work more closely together. The public knows the PMP stance on education, and the public knows the JSD stance. We can always leave that to the public's determination in an election. But until then, I'm very willing with my team to work with Senator Dixon to improve education. That separation, in our opinion, was ridiculous and ludicrous, and we're happy to see that they once again joined together because vocational education is not having failed secondary school, but indeed should be a central cog of the education system from secondary school. I'm in agreement with the past minister, even introduction at the primary school, not necessarily in the task, but with the understanding and the lucrative nature that many vocational jobs have created.